What's up, Christy One Love Fellowship for Followers of Christ? I am at the dog park. I don't know if you can see Loki over there playing with the big dog. We're taking a break. We were working on getting our storage unit cleared out. It's a challenge for me because I am very sentimental and I get very emotional, and seeing things from my former life, particularly my life with my children, is very difficult for me. It's one of the reasons why I just pack it all up and put it in storage and pay the storage fee, because having to go through it is a lot. Having to throw it away is difficult, even though I know it's of no use for me and it's not serving me. But it just reminds me not only of my failures, that's hard enough, but it reminds me of my intentions. It reminds me of the life I intended to give my children and how hard I was trying to do the right thing by them and how easily that all got derailed. And that's difficult for me, but I'm powering through it. I'm trying to listen to that voice that keeps telling me to let it go. I threw away things that I've been carrying with me for a very long time, including Loki, be nice! Sorry. Including my great-grandmother's dining room table that I used to eat on when I was a kid. I've carried that thing with me from apartment to apartment to apartment to apartment because it's a good table and it reminds me of her, and it was one of those things that I kind of never wanted to part with, even though part of me hoped someday that I would be able to afford better, you know? Even now, I didn't want to let it go. But she kept telling me that it's okay, that it's important. It's an important step. And then there was the little grill thing that I remember ordering off the TV to make little sandwiches. And there's a part of me that's like, you should keep that. You might be able to use it, especially now that you won't have access to a kitchen and a stove. But at the same time, it's like, besides the fact that it's 40 years old, though it probably still works, it's been in storage forever. It's pretty gross. It would need to be cleaned and restored. And even so, I don't know when or where I'll have the occasion to use it. You know, I'm kind of going to be living on like peanut butter and honey for a while. Something that I can have that doesn't need refrigeration, that I can prepare on a picnic table in a park, you know, so that if I don't have access to a kitchen or electricity or anywhere to wash anything, you know, I don't have to worry about that. And it's just frustrating because in my mind, I can think of a use for just about anything, and I don't like to be wasteful, but right now it's important for me to accept this transition and let things go. Something else that I was thinking about earlier is just the fact that so many people seem to have such a problem with people trying to do the right thing. And I don't grasp that. I don't get it. Even if you don't want to do the right thing, why would someone else doing the right thing cause you to feel threatened? If anything, you should be grateful that we exist. Because if people like us didn't exist, imagine how much worse the world would be if there weren't people who felt a moral sense of obligation to do the right thing as much as humanly possible. Like, think about how dark the world would be without us and the light that we share with the rest of you. And I'm not saying that, you know, anyone needs to like fall on their knees and worship us or anything like that. I mean, that's heavy. But like, maybe just be appreciative and have gratitude instead of hating us and resenting us. You know, it's just frustrating because I was never hating or resenting anyone, even those who were actively and willfully choosing to do the wrong thing. I realize now that a huge part of my problem was that I was refusing to believe in darkness. I was refusing to believe in evil. I was refusing to believe that there was anyone anywhere who was truly, intentionally, actively doing the wrong thing and creating problems, especially for me personally, especially people that I loved, because I wanted to believe that at their core everyone was like me, and that the only issue had to do with the fact that they, unlike me, had not broken out of their conditioning yet, that they had not had access to education and mental health services to even realize what was going on inside of them to cause them to behave that way. That's the world I wanted to live in, a world where people weren't evil, they were just sick, and if they were sick, then that means they can be healed. Little did I know that choosing to dismiss the darkness and evil inside of certain individuals, especially those I love, I was apparently giving them power to transfer that into me and to cause chaos and calamity in my life as a result. 606. I'm not going to continue to go on. I didn't even mean for this video to be this long, but just for anyone out there who's struggling, keep in mind that you don't need to turn against them and be like them. You don't need to seek revenge the way they seek revenge on us, even when we haven't done anything to them. But you do need to recognize and acknowledge the fact that they exist and that their motives are not good. And you need to do everything in your power to keep your distance. Because until they examine themselves and do what needs to be done, my lips are so chapped. Until they examine themselves and do what needs to be done to correct their own darkness, their own issues, their own ill intentions, they're not going to be good for you or anyone else. And if people are actively and willfully trying to harm those who are trying to save others, then they clearly don't want to be saved. And I don't think that it's our job to attempt to save anyone who doesn't want to be saved. I think that it's the job of the person in need of salvation to accept the fact that they need salvation and to actually want it. Because that's what free will is all about. I was never trying to force salvation on anyone. I just wouldn't let myself believe that there was anyone who didn't want it, you know? Anyway, 744, I'm going to go now. I don't know who this will help or if it'll help anyone at all, but I hope it helps someone today. Just remember, you are loved. You are forgiven. You can be saved. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter what you've done or what's been done to you, you can repent, you can repair, you can be redeemed. Much love.